This week we take a look at the latest Edward Snowden revelations, the developing situation in Guantanamo Bay, why compassion matters, and ask whether or not corporations can actually serve the public interest. All this and more tonight on the Conscious Resistance Network.
Got me wondering how I got into this mix.
Welcome to another week here at the Conscious Resistance Network. My name is Derrick Bros. I'm the host of this show, The Conscious Resistance. You can find more about me at theconsciousresistance.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest action. This past week we had two new articles come out from our team. One from John Vibes called "The Struggle is Real, but Try to Enjoy the Ride," and another one from Jeffrey Thomason with 5 ways you could be more awake and happy. Also a brand new video from Katie Chaos looking at propaganda in our culture and media. Be sure to go to theconsciousresistance.com to check all that out. This week marks the beginning of our partnership with Voluntary Virtues Network. Mike Shanklin, what's up, brother? Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So now, in addition to the show playing Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central on theconsciousresistance.com/live, if you miss it then, you can find it Monday nights at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Voluntary Virtues Network. And then the following day, Tuesday, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and website. So 2 chances to watch it before anyone else on the Conscious Resistance Network and the Voluntary Virtues Network. We're also still partnered up with the Truth Broadcasting Network, Freedom Phalanx Radio Network, Liberty Movement Radio, and a number of other organizations and individuals. So check that out on our affiliates tab on the website. So let's get into the news. Not 1 week passes without another revelation from Edward Snowden. For over a year now, since June 2013, we've been finding out more and more about how the United States government, the NSA, the British GCHQ, the German government spies on its own citizens and 80% of the world's population. It was revealed last week that through William Benny, NSA whistleblower, saying that 80% of all audio phone conversations are recorded, not just the metadata, but actually the content of the conversations, the audio. So what's next? According to new leaks put out by Glenn Greenwald and The Intercept, the British GCHQ, and I imagine the American NSA and every other government with enough money, are not only manipulating public opinion by, spreading propaganda and disinfo campaigns. We now have the exact names of the programs they use to keep us in the dark. These programs let them do everything from manipulate public polls to shutting down YouTube accounts, all kinds of things. Let's take a look at this list here and see what we know they can do. This tool is called Airwolf, and it allows them to get your YouTube profile, comment, and video collection. Bird Strike is Twitter monitoring and profile collection. Glassback is a technique of getting a target's IP address by pretending to be a spammer and ringing them. The target does not need to answer. Gestator, now this one's interesting. The application of a given message, normally a video, on popular multimedia websites, YouTube. Underpass, change outcome of online polls. Warpath, mass delivery of SMS messages to support an information operations campaign. Spring Bishop, finding private photos of targets on Facebook. Gateway, the ability to artificially increase traffic to a website. Slipstream, the ability to inflate page views on a website. And Angry Pirate, a tool that will permanently disable a target's account on their computer. The documents that have been leaked show these programs, they show the terminology behind them, and as I said, I don't believe this is probably that the British government is alone on this. There's likely an NSA version of this program as well. Of course, the NSA and most of the intelligence agencies around the world are going to have these type of tools. People like Alex Jones and other YouTube personalities, internet activists have been saying for years, they took down my video, they changed my video count, and we've seen this happen. Sometimes I've been a part of social media protests where, for instance, we would all share a particular word, hashtag a particular word on Twitter or Facebook to try to get it in the trending categories. And you would see whatever it was, no war with Iran, no war with Syria, whatever the word was, you could see it in the Google Trends and sometimes on Facebook, and then it would be there for maybe 5 minutes or so and it's gone. And it's just one more reason why it's important for you to know that the internet is not a safe space. The internet is not somewhere that you can just talk and do whatever you want and you're not going to be monitored, and where you can truly trust the results from the media that you're seeing. That's why you need to know your media sources. Go to independent sources, go to new media sources, or become your own media source. Do the research, investigate, find out for your own mind. So that's one way that technology is working to enslave us and to deceive us. But how about another way that technology is actually helping us move forward? My friend, writing partner, and TCR and team member recently wrote an awesome article for trueactivist.com discussing one of the many ways that apps and technology are going to free us. He takes a look at this new app, this crowdfunding app that's called Hands Up, that is designed to solve the problem of homelessness. All around the world, all around the country, people are blamed, prosecuted, persecuted for being homeless. It's become a crime now to be homeless. And, before we dive into that topic and people say, well, I'd never be homeless because I wouldn't let myself get there. Everybody deals with different circumstances. It's hard to judge someone. What we do know is that there's so many people out there that are homeless. There's so many empty homes that have been taken by the banks. And we're smart, intelligent, free, beautiful people with technology. Why can't we come up with solutions that will solve this silly problem? And to do that, first of all, we're going to need ideas like this. And we need to look at the overarching structures that rule our lives and see, why are people homeless and why do these things happen? So this new Hand Up application, it seeks to rid people who want to donate and be charitable to their fellow human being, but are sort of afraid that they're going to actually hurt people. You've seen somebody on a street corner or somebody on a block when you're driving by and they come up to your window and you can see empty bottles maybe behind them of beer, or they just look like they might be addicted to drugs. So you might pass judgment and say, I'm going to hold off on donating to them because I'm afraid it's going to go towards something that's going to hurt them in the long run. Well, this app will get rid of that. So the people who sign up to get donations and to get funds they need from their community through Hand Up, they will have to make a list of things that they need in order to progress in their lives, either tools that they need to get a home, to get a job, clothes, etc., things like that. Whatever it is, they're going to have very specific needs listed, and the people who donate, if you go to Hands Up and you become a part of it, you'll actually be able to see the profiles of all these different people who are on the streets and hear their stories, and you can follow along with them. It's like, they tell you in those ads that you can donate or invest or adopt a kid from Africa or something like that, and they'll tell you the whole story. Well, this is like that, but it's more, I'd say, more real. So you get a profile of somebody who's in your community and struggling, you find out their story, etc., and you can donate to them through this website, and it'll go specifically to those needs. And, this, of course, is setting off the debate where some people are worried about trusting Hands Up, this app. But, I think the idea here is you're either going to give yourself to somebody on the street when you see them if you can, or you're going to give by calling into one of these organizations and some bureaucracy, where a lot of these nonprofits have actually been found to be extremely inefficient when it comes to raising money. They have to spend so much money on overhead costs and such that oftentimes the people that they're trying to help don't really get the funds. The Wall Street Journal reported that homeless advocates or case managers who work in shelters post profiles on Hands Up on behalf of the homeless. They accept donations via Hand Up, then ensure the money is being spent on what the person said he or she needed. Now, I was watching an interview with one of the founders of Hand Up, and another interesting topic came up where the person who was interviewing her basically said that he felt that it might be a problem, it might be a bad idea for a corporation, which Hands Up is not a nonprofit organization. They are a for-profit organization that is seeking to do good. And so the guy who was interviewing the founder, he said he had problems with an organization making money from helping solve the homeless problem. But I thought she made a very interesting distinction there. She said, well, it's not that we're making money off of the homeless by keeping them homeless. We're making money by solving homelessness. So I just wanted your thoughts on that. Do you think it's wrong for people to make money off of these type of things? I think it's silly, but some people have that mindset where they have this, they get this thing inside where they feel like, oh, I shouldn't be making any money off this, so any money I make off this is going to go towards charity. And that is a good idea. It's a great idea. But if you want to make money while you're coming up with a product and putting it into the market and then expending your energy and your time to craft it and to put it out there and to do the work, well, there's nothing wrong with making a living off that. And it's even better because you're making your living off doing something you care about and helping other people, which is a beautiful thing. And in that interview, they mentioned something that I never heard of. It's called a benefit corporation. So what is a benefit corporation? According to Wikipedia, a benefit corporation, or B corporation, is a corporate form available in the United States designed for-profit entities that wish to consider society and the environment in addition to profit in their decision-making process. In a benefit corporation, the difference here is that they have a stated social mission. Like, for example, I'm going to form a corporation to solve homelessness. So there's shareholders that are involved, like in Hand Up, and the shareholders are individuals who know that this corporation, this benefit corporation's job is to focus on homelessness. So if they feel after a period of time that the owners, the CEOs, and the top executives aren't fulfilling that mission, they can get rid of them and bring somebody else in new to start over. The purpose of a benefit corporation includes creating general public benefit, which is defined as a material positive impact on society and the environment. Benefit corporations' directors operate the business with the same authority as a traditional corporation, but wherein a traditional corporation shareholders with proper standing judge the company's financial performance, here they judge qualitative performance based on benefit corporations' stated goals. So what do you think about that? Is it actually possible that we could create a corporation with a stated mission and make the world a better place? I mean, there's a lot of people who think that corporations are the problem and government's the problem. For me, the reason I haven't turned the Houston Freethinkers or the Conscious Resistance Network into a nonprofit is because I personally don't want to work with the state at all. I don't want tax breaks or whatever. I just don't want to deal with them at all. So I'd rather not even be involved with them and work outside of their control as much as possible. Black and gray markets. But what are your thoughts on this benefit corporation business? Every week we're releasing new videos from my bike tour that I took in late April, early May. Last week when we checked in, I was still in Central Texas, getting towards West Texas. I was starting to get in trouble with flat tires, running out of water, and all kinds of things. So let's check in and see where I'm at now. All right. Hey everyone, I am in my tent. I survived. It's Saturday night. I got chapstick on. I just wanted to update you. After talking earlier, I replaced both my tires. I rearranged them. I started getting on the road, and sure enough, an elderly couple gave me a lift all the way into Junction, which is where I'm sitting down now. Thank you to Bob and Shirley Gladden, Bob Gladden. For the lift and for the support and help. I got my water filled, got some food in my stomach, got tent set up and camped out, about to smoke it down, lay it down for the rest of the night, and pick it up in the morning. I'm dirty, I'm exhausted, I'm sunburnt, my lips are chapped, but I'm alive and I'm free. Peace. Thank you, Earth, for allowing me to rest my body here all night. Thank you, stars. Thank you, animals, for not coming and attacking me. Thank you to all the nice people I met yesterday, to Bob and Shirley. Thank you to my tent and my equipment and my bike, to all the people who are praying and watching over me, helping me with information along the way. This journey is as much yours as it is mine. Thank you for another day to let go of my fears and to just be free out here, to remember that I am free the moment I choose to be. I am free from all mental blocks, from all fears, doubts. The sooner I understand them, the sooner I can rid myself of them. So I ask these things of you, Great Spirit, give me the strength strength that I need to spend another day under all this beauty. And remembering to give thanks. Remembering to have gratitude for what I've experienced and for what's coming. And for being thankful for making difficult choices and challenging myself so I can learn in new ways. What's up, guys? It's Sunday morning, May 4th, 2014. I am still right here outside of Junction. I'm about to go to this corner store, this truck stop, plug in my computer for a little bit, check out my directions. Today I'll be heading towards Sonora and Arizona, and in Sonora there are those caves apparently, so I want to check those out. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there's those caves, so I might go check those out. The furthest I think I can get today is probably Arizona, and then it's still another day's ride to get to Fort Stockton, and then a couple more days to El Paso. So I may be getting picked up by someone along the route to make sure I get to California on time for the United We Stand Festival. But I'm going to be there, and then after that I'll be journeying solo again. But thank you for everyone who's continuing to support me mentally, spiritually, physically. Peace. Guess what? We actually have some good news. Guantanamo Bay, it's one of the biggest blights on America's history and our apparent record, or wanting to be the freest nation in the world. This is one of the biggest stains on our collective consciousness, that we have a president that won't close down such a horrible institution, that we have military soldiers that treat other humans like dogs, and that all of our tax dollars are funding it. But guess what? Finally, after months and months of force feeding, somebody decided to stand up and say no. Last summer, the authorities in Guantanamo Bay began force feeding inmates after a hunger strike spread. At one point, there was 100 participants involved in the hunger strike. Before December 2nd, 2013, officials used to give out numbers on how many people were involved in the hunger strike, what their conditions were, and how they were doing. After that, they stopped giving out numbers, so to this day, nobody knows exactly how many people are still involved in the hunger strike anymore. Prisoner Abu Wal Diab, who's a Syrian citizen who's fighting to have the force feeding stop, he told his lawyer that a male nurse told the authorities, "I have come to the decision that I refuse to participate in this criminal act." He also told them, "Before we came here, we were told a different story. The story we were told was completely opposite of what I saw." Last year, rapper Mos Def actually underwent the force feeding. But I want to give a huge round of applause, totally commend this nurse here at Guantanamo Bay. Can you imagine the pressure to be in that environment and to watch this stuff happening on a daily basis, and to think that maybe you became a nurse or you went into the medical profession because you actually wanted to help people, and you're sitting there having to force feed human beings and stuff tubes down their nose, up their throats and everything. It's a horrible thing to see, I imagine. It's horrible just to watch the video of Mos Def, so I can only imagine when it's happening every single day to around 100 people or so. It's got to disturb you. So awesome job, another victory for humanity. A human being shows that despite what the authorities and the higher ups and the laws may tell you, it doesn't mean that it's right to do these things, and you can still show compassion and be a human being and stop doing these unjust, disgusting acts. Score 1 for humanity. For this week's Conscious Thought of the Week, I'd like to offer you a tip on how to make the world a better place. Stop being a douchebag. No, seriously. So when I'm online, I occasionally, get locked into these debates that take up my entire day, and I sit there furiously typing away, wondering if I'm ever gonna get sense into whoever it is I'm arguing. And I imagine that they're on the other side of the world or the city or the country, wherever they're at, thinking the same thing. When am I gonna get this idiot to understand my point of view? And often these debates turn into arguments, and then these arguments turn into whose ego is going to be bigger and prove themselves here. And it turns into chest beating, whether arguing with males or females, it goes that direction. And what I'm working on doing, and what I hope that you'll work on doing in your pursuit of creating a more free and beautiful world and learning about yourself in the process, remember to be compassionate. Look into compassionate activism. So why is it important to be compassionate? Why does it matter if you can empathize with your fellow human being and put yourself in their situation? Well, without being able to see yourself as a reflection of everyone else around you, and vice versa, everyone else a reflection as you, then it's sometimes difficult to empathize and to understand where they're coming from, and then from that point to understand why you should hear their viewpoints out and why you should even work with them. And then it's easy to just say, you know what, fuck it, everybody is an ignorant person, they're a bunch of sheeple, and even the ones who do kind of agree with me, I don't like them either. Instead, I'm just going to stay in my hole, and I'm not going to work with people to change the world. Well, that's a very scared attitude that some people unfortunately take. I want to use a quote from Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, to emphasize my position here. He said to watch your thoughts, because your thoughts become your words become your actions become your behavior, and your behavior becomes your destiny. In order to change the world, we need to start with compassionate thoughts. We need to have compassionate words, compassionate action. You need to have mindfulness all the time when you're doing these things. For example, in the video last week of me on the streets doing the flag thing, I started to lose my temper a little bit, and you can hear a quiver in my voice, and I'm like, you don't know jack shit. Well, that was me just, for one, I was feeling antagonized, I was feeling provoked, but my ego came out, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get this guy. He's not gonna come up and do this to me. I could have been a lot more still, and it's just about being mindful in all those moments, especially under pressure moments when things are intense. That's when you need it the most. But think about it like this. Without wisdom, compassion, and action, we're not gonna be set. I believe we're not going to be set on the right path towards changing ourselves, understanding ourselves, and bettering the world. Because with wisdom, knowledge, you understand why the state's bad, and you understand what's going on in the government, and you're looking out for all the next false flag events and conspiracies and things like that. And so you have this wisdom, but without action, then nobody's going to know. If you just sit there and you stay in your cave and nobody knows what you know, and you don't spread that information, then you're not going to be able to create a lasting change. And if you're all action, you're just running around all the time doing things, but you're not taking time to slow down and gain wisdom and gain knowledge and really understand these positions and come from a place that you can communicate to other people, then again, you'll be failing in those ways. But if you have wisdom and you have action, you can do a lot. But without this third component, without compassion, you'll still be lost. Because if you have all the knowledge in the world and you understand the ins and outs of the way the world works, and you want to go out there and take action and do things about it, without the compassion to understand why you need to do these things for yourself and why it's better to create a world that's full of critically thinking people who pursue their own goals without hurting anyone else, if you don't have the compassion to see these things and compassion towards your fellow human being, compassion towards yourself, then it's likely that you won't care about making these changes. So look into that. So that's all this week. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to this YouTube channel, go ahead and like the Voluntary Virtues Network as well, and look out for new articles and more videos at our website throughout the week at theconsciousresistance.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the music. Remember, you are not alone, and if you can hear this, you are the resistance. Peace.
The let's get it. Turn the tube on, get the news on, get your suit on, get your shoes on, get a move on, get your moolah, working 2 jobs for a Groupon, that's a coupon for a crouton. Hallelujah, looking through ya, da-da-doo-da, get your chill on, get your reel on, get your peace on, get your freak on, get your preach on. I'ma turn the heat on, the song, so hold on, get your roll on and a nose job at a roadblock from a robot with a mohawk and some Botox, and I won't stop till the flow stop, cause I go off like a cobra.
Welcome to the new age of renegade machines, the child of the new world and fascist regimes. Remnants of the Third Reich lurk behind the scenes, training all the puppets and then pulling on their strings. It's a dark, dark circus with a serpent man a king, feeding on the
in New Orleans. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been a ruin for many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is this suitcase and his trunk. And the only time that he's satisfied is when he's all drunk.
I pour another shot of sorrow in a dirty chip tumbler as demons dance in the smoke blown from tired lungs. Daddy was a drinker, I learned from the best, so it's really no surprise to see what I've become. Young dreams fade to black, but I thought you believed in me. I guess I should have took the time to tell you what you mean to me. I never thought that we would fall apart so easily, as a double rum sucks the color out the scenery.
Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Now I got one foot on the platform and the other on the train, and I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain.
Yeah. Love is the devil in a short skirt, with lips like fire in a razor sharp tongue. The only one who ever made it make sense. Now my breath stink of liquor and it's made my heart numb. The house of the rising sun. My head's getting weary and my time is done. I know I've done wrong sometimes, but just remember me for the songs I've sung.
There's a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been a ruin for many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one.
What do you think it is, either the biggest threat to our freedom or the one thing that can bring us all together and stop all the craziness?
Love.
Love, the one, that's
Love is the cure for all diseases. And let me tell you something else. The thing that could tear us all apart faster than any other disease